All right, Tammy, welcome back to Higher Caliber.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It has been a little over 2 years. I just checked.
Wow. Okay.
And there wasn't cameras. So, now you get the full experience.
Awesome. Glad to be here.
Well, the last time we talked about how you started, can we go back there and just maybe,
How it all came to be.
Mm-hmm.
So in December of 2018, I was at a crossroads in my life. I was married to an alcoholic and an addict, and things have just been really bad for a long time. And it was so bad that I wanted to escape the pain, and I contemplated suicide. I was going to wake up the next morning, take a bunch of pills, and just go on about whatever happened after that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to God and I was like, listen, you know where I'm at, you know how I feel. There's got to be something better. So give me a purpose, give me something I'm supposed to do. Just tell me what I'm supposed to do. And the next morning I knew that I was supposed to help veterans. I knew how I was supposed to start helping. I was supposed to sell my own things and raise money for the American Legion. That was my small-minded idea of what God was saying. And so I had $690 saved. That was my exit money. And I took that and rented my first space. It was a 900 square foot building. And I just started listing stuff on Marketplace and selling it and telling people what I was doing. And I was going to give the money, like I said, to the American Legion there in Belleville. And it just kind of snowballed from there.
Did you have a lot of support initially as far as?
We did. Once people started realizing what I was raising money for, then of course, people kept saying they wanted to donate items or donate money or volunteer. And I mean, I would say the first 7 or 8 months, it was a one-woman show. I did anything and everything all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then people started to trickle in. And then a year later, I'll back up. It was June of 2019. I applied for nonprofit status.
Okay.
And then once that all came through, I'm like, okay, well, I think we're kind of onto something. And then I started getting into it more. And then in January of 2020, we moved into our current location, which is a 9,000 square foot building.
Were you awarded that nonprofit status before you moved in?
Yes.
Was it hard? I've heard it's kind of difficult.
It wasn't, honestly. Okay. A lot of people said that if I would have looked everything up about doing a nonprofit before I started, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Because it's terrifying. You think you need all this money and all this capital and all the things.
Because I know sorry to cut you off, no. But like a quick Google of it is just like, you need this and you need that. And it's kind of like, maybe not.
Well, I did everything wrong, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
And I didn't realize it was wrong until somebody came to me and said, hey, you can't do it this way. You need to do it that way.
Mm.
For instance, I didn't realize I needed a vendor's license to operate in Belleville until said people came and told me that I needed to do this. And I was like, oh, I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't research it. I didn't. I just started moving and walking in what I thought I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So don't follow my example. Do your research and look it up. And you can still walk by faith and do the things, but just know what you're getting into before you get into it. But that part, as far as a nonprofit status, it was not that difficult. I had an attorney and she helped me through the whole process. And it was pretty easy. But then January of 2020, we moved in our location. We're a 9,000 square foot building. And we are completely out of room. We are looking for a bigger building now. So
it's a nice problem to have.
It is a nice problem to have. So now we're just doing our day-to-day things and trying to help as many veterans as we can.
Awesome. Has it ramped up quite a bit since the last time we talked?
Yeah. So Shauna McLean, Dr. Shauna McLean came into our life. She said she wanted to do a purse bingo to raise money to help veterans. And at that time, we were raising money to do this build that we're doing for a veteran. We're building a brand new house. And so we had been fundraising to get the capital to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she came in, that's what it was all about. And we raised $22,000, $23,000 the first one. And I was blown away because mind you, we have been fundraising for years.
Yeah.
And we have.
So you know what the donations look like.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it's not easy. It seems easy for her, but it's not easy when you're actually doing it.
Yeah.
And so that started it because before her, we were month to month.
Yeah.
There were months we didn't know if we were going to be able to pay rent or not because we don't have all this money.
Mm-hmm.
We're not government funded. We have one account that we pay our bills out of and help veterans. We don't have money set aside to help veterans because we didn't have enough to split it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when a veteran called in for a referral that needed help, I didn't necessarily look at that account. And I know that's crazy and people look at me like I'm weird, but it's like, I know that the money's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I know that if we help this veteran, it's going to be okay on the other side. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And so after that first bingo, that was the first time we didn't have to worry about rent.
That's
I could
awesome.
actually take a deep breath and relax just a little.
Now you have room to operate.
Yes.
That's great.
And so all these different fundraisers that she has done, it's just not only has it brought more funds in, but the views, the support, the different genres of people, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize with doing the pageant that she did, just the amount of reach that we would have. And I wouldn't necessarily be able to reach those people by myself with what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And we have given, Love Our Heroes has given other people the platform to walk in their purpose as well.
Yeah.
That's the cool part, that God used what pain I went through to not only help me and help veterans, but he's using it to help other people. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was a me thing. I thought, okay, God, thank you. You did this for me, but it's not. It's way beyond me and what God did for me.
Yeah.
Now it's laying the foundation for other people.
For other people, you were the vessel, basically.
Yeah.
Now that's just goes to show you if you do the right thing long enough, it pays off.
It does. You know, I just read something that it said, you know, when you struggle to know that you're going in the right direction, when things seem to be slow and everything around you, everybody else around you is excelling and going a faster pace and reaching goals faster than you do. But that's not the way it was intended. And I'm okay fighting for every dollar that we get if we do the right thing. I just want to continue to help veterans. That's all it's about.
Yeah. Does most of it come in by referral from government or are they NGOs or are they GOs? I don't know how.
So the VA is a big part of it. VA caseworkers. We don't have a relationship with the VA other than
not a formal one. So the caseworkers are the biggest referral for us. Yeah.
But different agencies like Third Street Family Health has done referrals. Avita has done referrals. Different agencies like that is our main source. But we also have people who walk in. We have people who family members refer them, and we work around all of that. As long as we get the information we need as far as their file, and there's no qualifications or anything.
Yeah.
We don't ask you how much you make or what your bills are or anything like that. I don't want to ask those questions, and I'll tell you why. There are people who, if you start asking the story and their why they got in that position, it's going to change the way you view the situation in that person. My goal is to help any veteran that needs help. As they are. Yeah. You meet them where they're at. I don't want to be the people who say, well, you spent your money on beer. Right. You spent your money on this. You don't want to clutch your pearls. Yeah. We all do things we're not supposed to do. Going out to eat instead of paying your electric bill. I mean, we've all done that, right? Yeah. And so I'm not going to judge them. And there's so many different circumstances. But when people are calling and ask for food, how do you say no to that? Right. There's no way. The most basic need. Absolutely. You shouldn't have to worry about those things. None of us should, especially those who served. Yeah. So yeah, I don't ask any questions.
Is there any sort of verification though? Like you don't ask them for do you like ask them for their DD-214?
Yes. Yeah. And because we do a lot through the VA, that's already provided to the VA. Okay. So they send that information to us. So we have a form that they fill out with all the information that we need. And then they send over, of course, the DD-214. We just want to confirm that they're a veteran. Yeah, at the very least. That's what I care about, you know, and there's some that ask, well, what if they were dishonorably discharged? well, what's the circumstances as to
Right.
why? Because it's not a cookie cutter thing.
Right.
It's individual,
Mhm.
it's something that happened to that person, good or bad.
Mhm.
But if they served our country,
Yeah.
we're going to help them.
That's
and a
all.
lot of people don't like to hear that, especially people who support financially.
Mhm.
They want us to ask questions. They want us to be like everybody else. So we may not get funding from this person, but because of who we are and how we do it, we have to wait a little while, but we'll get funding from this person.
Yeah.
So that's why it takes us a little bit longer, I think, to get to where we think we should be.
Yeah. Well, it's comforting to hear that there's, I mean, it's like Planet Fitness, a judgment-free zone, because it is. What would you say the biggest need for the people that you serve is, like most common need, I should say, that you see the most? Is
Housing.
it food? It's housing.
Housing and food are the two worst. I would say about 70% of our veterans are homeless, transitioning into apartments.
Okay.
And so we will help them with their rent and deposit and utilities if we need to. And then they get to come in and get new household items. So like furniture, dishes, and when I have a veteran come in who's getting a new apartment, to see hope alive again in their face and in their whole body, you can see how proud they are to go from where they were to where they're going.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that, let's say a sofa can change everything for someone.
Yeah.
If you're sleeping on the streets and you got a backpack and everything you own is in that backpack, to have something to call your own, it's life-changing. It's life-changing.
Yeah.
So we definitely need more housing for veterans for sure.
Do any of these veterans come back and volunteer time or anything like that and give back to?
Yeah. So I've had several do that, but I'll tell you a story about one. I won't say his name, but a VA caseworker called me and said, hey, there was a veteran who called and wants to donate his estate to an organization. And we gave them your information. I'm like, okay, great. That's awesome. I was at work on a Saturday after we had already closed, just doing some stuff by myself, and something told me to go check my voicemail. And on the voicemail, it said, this call me back. I just said a name.
I'll beep it.
Okay. And I'm like, okay, I don't know who that is or what they want, but I'm busy. I got stuff to do. So I went back to work. A few minutes later, I was like, I better go call him. Sorry. This is still hard to talk about because you don't know where people are at. And knowing I've been there, so it's hard. I called him back and he said that he wanted to donate his estate, went through the whole spiel. And I'm like, hey, it sounded like he was sick is what I thought. And I'm like, is there something I can pray about for you? Why are you planning this estate, to donate your estate? He was going to commit suicide that day.
Wow.
This was on a Saturday evening. We didn't open back up until Wednesday.
So he had a plan.
He already had a plan.
Yeah.
He knew what he was going to do, when he was going to do it, and he was trying to get his affairs in order. And so this was a Saturday night. I asked him to meet personally.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't having it. So we kept talking. We talked for a couple hours on the phone. And finally, I convinced him to come see me in person on Wednesday morning. Now, mind you, that's a few days out.
I was going to say, were you just a nervous wreck the whole time?
Nervous wreck because I didn't know anything. I knew a first name. I had no idea where he lived. I had no phone number.
So you couldn't tell somebody
nothing.
I
had nothing. And so for him to make plans with me, I'm like, okay, he's making plans. That's great. But until that morning, I was terrified.
Yeah.
He showed up. And we talked and we talked and we talked. And what it was is he had no purpose. He had nothing to do. He had called other organizations wanting to volunteer, and he called the VA and tried to get, different places with them. And everybody turned him down or dismissed him as a person. It was just a cookie cutter answer. It wasn't individualized. It wasn't somebody listening to him. And so he didn't think he was supposed to be here. And after that phone call, he started volunteering with the organization every Saturday.
Wow.
And I will say that he isn't any longer, but he does come back and visits. He was actually just in the store on Friday, and he's doing fantastic.
That's wonderful to hear.
He's just, the color has come back to his face. Like life has come back to him, and life is not easy for him, but he's here and he's moving forward, and he's moving forward in the right direction. So that's why it's so important for me to meet people where they're at.
Yeah.
We never know what somebody's going through or what the next step could be.
That is a initially terrifying story, but that has to just keep you energized, because I know you don't have a big ego, but you really did save a man's life by staying on the phone. So that has to like just get you going.
It's a lot of weight.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight.
To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I don't look at it as though I did anything. I just feel like God placed me there.
Yeah.
To listen to him. I definitely don't take credit for that, but I do know that this gentleman is still here, and it's stories like that that's hard to hear.
Mm-hmm.
They're all hard to hear.
Yeah.
All the stories they're not easy. This job is not easy.
In a perfect world, you wouldn't have to do it.
Exactly. I shouldn't be here. There shouldn't be a reason for me to even exist.
Right.
But these stories matter. These people matter.
Yeah.
And they just want to be seen and heard. That's the biggest thing. And they don't want to be dismissed or act like, okay, you're out of the service now. We're done with you. You know, society, the government, all the things. And they're like, now what do I do?
Yeah.
What is my purpose? What do I've done all this, and now that's done. And I'm sure you've seen it too with people, being in the service and coming out. I can't imagine how you felt when you came out. Like, now what? What direction do I go now? And to not have the support of family and friends during that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you did or not, but I know this gentleman didn't. He was all alone in this world, and nobody was listening to him. And I know how that feels, other than I didn't tell anybody. Mm-hmm. There's a stigma around mental health and feeling that way.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed. I didn't want anybody to know. I'm Tami. I got it all together. I got this. Mm-hmm. And then you don't. You realize that you don't have this. And then you have to make a change one way or another.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. And he reached out, and thank God.
Yeah.
The call.
I feel like purpose is the ultimate thing that veterans are missing. Just people in my circle, they ask, like, I need something, like I need a purpose. And it's not money, that doesn't seem to fill the hole. It's like, I want to do something meaningful. Luckily for me, I had support, and I found a career that has purpose. But for most people, that's just not the case.
So how do we change that? Can we change that? Is there something that...
I really like the model of veterans helping veterans. And I feel like that's what I hear the most is people ask me, how can I help more veterans? Would you say, like, for your organization, how can other veterans give the most impact? Like, if they came to you and said, Tami, I want to help other veterans, and maybe it's not just a monetary thing, maybe it's like with their time, what would you say to them?
Go visit
Time
is money.
Yeah.
And your time is so much more valuable than anything that you can give. Mm-hmm. That what I hear the most is people are missing the brotherhood, the relationship.
Yeah, the camaraderie.
Exactly. And so, especially with all the different, there's a lot of things going on for veterans around, mm-hmm. but nobody wants to go do that alone.
100%. Yeah.
So if there are other veterans wanting to just spend time with other veterans, mm-hmm. different age groups, different, backgrounds, different, all these things, they just want to talk.
Yeah.
They just want somebody to be there. That's all. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
But we're so busy. Life is so busy now with social media and it's 24 hours a day. Mm-hmm. People expect you to be available 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And we're too busy scrolling on TikTok as opposed to going and visiting the guy down the street.
Having a conversation.
The Marine flag hanging out, and mm-hmm. why not just knock on the door? Hey, how are you doing? Mm-hmm. That's what, when I go visit different nursing homes and assisted living, that's the biggest thing I hear is, we feel forgotten.
Yeah.
They feel like they have to go through everything they went through, have all those feelings and memories of what happened, and then all the stuff that boggles people down about life. And they're just sitting there with all of it. I would be depressed too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to keep going on. It's heavy.
Yeah.
We got to share the burden. We got to know that, again, meet people where they're at. I feel very, very strongly about that.
Yeah, likewise. The last podcast we did, we talked to Jeff Barker about, I'm not going to get you on a tangent, but we talked about the VFW model of the smoky bars and stuff, and that worked for a while. Like his idea was maybe you should just open a gym, for veterans or whatever, so people can be with people just like them that are looking for. And I think you're right about like the TikTok scrolling or whatever. You can join a veteran group on TikTok and maybe you can have some interaction, but people really just want to sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah. I mean, that's what all of us want, right?
Yeah.
We want somebody to see us and to hear us. And most arguments between couples is like, you're not listening to me. That's what people are saying, and if we just took the time to do it instead of just talking about what we think needs to happen,
mm-hmm.
You and I were talking off camera about getting some of these stories
mm-hmm.
of the veterans before they're no longer here. There's a whole big part of history that we're going to forget about and miss because we didn't hear it.
Yeah.
We have to be the ones to tell that story. We have to be, again, the vessel to allow people to, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they need to get it out.
I think that would be very therapeutic and cathartic for most of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a small thing to do, but
yeah,
man, the impact could be 30, 40 years down the road. Somebody can look back and say, wow, I want to do that, or I appreciate that, or just to be thankful for what they went through. If nothing else, just to be appreciative of what somebody else did before you.
Yeah. I feel like World War II is like the most well-documented war that we have, but I still feel like such a waste that most of them weren't interviewed enough. You know what I mean? Like there's all these stories that
you'll never
are just gone, So.
And it's about perspective. We can have two different people in the same place for the same amount of time, the same
mm-hmm.
everything, and their perspectives are different.
100%. Yeah.
And so we can't just talk to one person. We got to talk to as many as we can to get the full picture of what's really going on, because they're human.
Yeah.
They're not robots. You know what I mean? And we just got to hear from their heart what they went through, so we don't forget the sacrifices that they made while we go to sleep and don't have to worry about it. They already did that. You guys already did that for us.
Mm.
And there's too many people out there that frankly don't care enough to even think about what somebody else did for them. It's all about me, 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 me. That's what this world is.
Well, like we were talking about off camera, how the politics are involved in it. I think people can't separate the two. Like when they're like, I hated the war in Iraq, but they look at a veteran as the thing that they hated. You know what I mean? But it's two totally different things. They're still people.
Absolutely. And there's a job to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they sign that paper stating that, you know what, I may not come home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do this despite that information.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's a very good possibility that it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And think about the magnitude of that. Somebody that has never been in the military. And honestly, there was nobody in my family that I was close enough with. There was people in the military, but I didn't see them leave. I didn't experience the loss of not having them around or them passing. I didn't experience any of that. Think about a wife, a mom who her husband is going over and doesn't come back. And then she's left to raise these kids by herself and deal with everything that goes into dealing with losing a spouse.
Yeah.
It's hard. I can't imagine what these people are going through. So the least we can do is meet them where they're at and support them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy to me. I don't understand.
It's pretty nuts.
It is.
And you would think in, us being the most wealthy country and, I think the best country ever, how we fall so short with this stuff. Like, I know it's hard, but I feel like it shouldn't be as hard as they're making it.
Right.
As far as letting people fall through the cracks like that.
like again, I think it's as far as helping our servicemen and women who come home, it's about money. It's about, again, I told you the story about the gentleman who had Agent Orange and, lost his leg and his ear and ended up his life. He was waiting on that money for so long that it wasn't to make him rich. It was to take care of he and his family, and for the time he had left. And he passed before he even got his payout. So then what? Where's that money go? Does that go to the next one?
And I don't know why it's like this, but I know with disability compensation, it goes to that veteran and that's it. And I know there's a form spouses can fill out to like get some supplement of whatever, maybe if you're lucky, but like any service connection disability compensation that you get when you die, the check stops coming.
That's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
These families,
they rely on that.
And they serve along with whoever is in the service. So I don't understand why these families are not being taken care of, why there has to be all these different organizations. The Gold Mothers, I can't think of the correct name, but there's all the Purple Star, this and all the things. That's great. And I think that's a need for every different county, but shouldn't they already be taken care of? Yeah,
I think so.
I mean,
I would like to think so.
I just don't, again, where's all the money going? We're spending billions and billions of dollars and it's not going to the right things. And I think, I don't know that that's ever going to change. But in a perfect world, it would be wonderful to have these families being taken care of too.
Yeah.
The kids. I mean, think about the kids. Seeing their mom and dad go away and be gone for a year or two or even longer. You can't tell me that doesn't come between your relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
These kids are growing up without you being there. You are sacrificing. They are sacrificing.
And they're in a new place every 3 or 4 years. And I know the response to what am I going to do when I get out is usually, at least my experience was, well, just stay in, just retire, have a pension, don't worry about it.
And how long is it to do that? How long do you have to stay?
20 years at least, but when you're in certain jobs where you're 20 and you feel like you're 60 already, 20 years is a long time.
Imagine you have to grow up fast. You go in, like you said, 18 and you come out a whole different person. You are a grown man now with all of these experiences and memories and good and bad. And then you're like, okay, now what do I do? How do I keep, providing for my family and doing the things that I do with the knowledge that I have? What's my purpose?
Right.
And you went into fire service and you're doing all these amazing things, but what about the people who don't want to go into that? Where's their outlet?
Right.
Where's their, journey to finding what is it, like cops? They usually go into the law enforcement and fire department. That's kind of the two main things that I
Something
hear.
Similar. Yeah.
Yeah. And why do you think that is? Because it's regimented,
and a lot of times it was something they considered doing before the military. So it's like, oh, I'll try this. You know what I mean? And the camaraderie, I hear it all the time. Like, I want something. And the thing is, like, this is what really sucks, to be quite honest. You get out of the military, you do something stupid because you're in your early 20s. You have a criminal background now because you wanted to get out and party a little bit. And now you can't do those things. Yeah. I see it all the time. Like, guys that would have been great firemen, law enforcement officers, they made the dumb decision to drink and drive, and now they're screwed. So what do? They're good guys. Now they have a ding on their criminal record. You can't be a cop. You know what I mean? So
you think that they would look at, I get why there are qualifications and different things that people have to look at. I understand that. But you think people would look at the individual and see if they have, you can tell somebody is just out causing all kinds of, craziness, or someone who just made a mistake.
Yeah.
There should be a line that.
No, but the process is the punishment. Like, oh, you got to get a lawyer. You got to get your record sealed. Do you do this? Then maybe. And then it's like, I can't afford that. Especially guys with families. Like, And like, oh, I can't take 2 years out of my life to go be a firefighter and a medic. I have a family and I have bills. So I guess I'm going to go do this job I don't really like, but so they're just kind of stuck in the middle.
I get that. Totally get that.
Yeah.
But that's why we need to meet them where they're at. We need to find that middle where they're at.
Give them a leg up.
And give them a direction one way or the other, When we help with food assistance, for instance, these guys they're trying.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the best they can. If you're calling and asking for food assistance, you're pretty low.
Yeah.
Because I've been there too. I've had to go to food banks before, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
But they're trying. I mean, they're paying their bills. I had this one guy who we donated a car to, and he said, there's somebody out there that deserves it more than I do. And I'm like, you are the one who deserves it.
Yeah.
You.
Especially after you said that.
This. Exactly. And there's some that's like, give me. But that's just people. That's just human nature. You have different people. But for the majority of our veterans that we help, they're so appreciative that there's something out there that they can turn to and I don't post on Facebook everybody I help. And I get a lot of flack for that. Supporters are like, we want to know what you're doing. Well, I tell you what we're doing. I'm just not telling you individually what we're doing. I didn't want my information out there. Could you imagine walking into a food bank and they got a camera in your face?
I'd be so pissed.
Giving your whole,
I'd be like, I'm gonna go hungry for another day.
Exactly. I would walk out and never go back.
Yeah.
And to have it blasted all over social media, I will never do that.
Mm-hmm.
Not doing it. And so I think they know that they can come ask for help. For one, they're not being judged because I don't ask them the questions. So so there's no reason to judge. You're a hero in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. And
I look at every person that way. Every person is a hero. I block everything else out. Just look at the information that is given to me and then go from there. And so it's not easy. But
what a concept. You're the outlier because you're not judgy and you're just helping people. Isn't that sad that that's where we're at?
Yeah, it is. Because I've had other organizations tell me that I'm wrong. And I've had people say, well, you're not going to get this kind of funding because you're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then it wasn't intended for me to get that funding.
Right.
Like, again, I will climb and fight for every dollar we get if that's the way it has to be. But I'm not going to make somebody feel less than because they're asking for help. That's what we're telling them to do. That's the whole business plan.
Yeah.
We're here to help you. And then for me to judge you when you come for help, I mean, that's kind of an oxymoron for me. It's just, people shouldn't be like that. But there's a lot of organizations that do, that put their information out there. Well, this family was struggling with this and I helped them with this. And it's just like, God.
I like the way you do it. We've helped this many veterans this month or this year. I can't remember. You do it by month or?
Well, kind of both. I have a list here of the total amount since we've started. Yeah. And there's a board in our lobby that says that, but I've been doing a quarterly one. So I break it down. I'm helping this many in the Army, this many in this county. I'm helping with household items, or I'm helping with utilities. All that is broke down. And I kind of put that out quarterly. But when you come into the organization, you will see this number, and we've helped 406 veterans, and it's over $168,000. And that doesn't seem like a lot of money to a lot of people. But to start with $690, to even become close to that number, it's not about the number. It's about the people, but for me, I look at that and I'm just like, I'm blown away to see what.
Because they don't know, people that walk by or see you posting stuff, they don't know your story that you started with less than $700.
Yeah. It was hard for me to say that for a long time, because my story involves somebody else. So for the first couple of years, I didn't say anything about it. I just started it, and that was the story. Yeah. And until I started actually being honest and telling the story, that's when more people started coming to the organization, because not just supporters, but veterans. Mm-hmm. We have veterans walk through, and we have a bunch of memorabilia. Okay. We have flags and uniforms, and we have one purple heart. There's so many things in there. And I see veterans walking through, and just the looks on their face. Some get emotional, and some were like, I know him, or they just get it's like a walk down memory lane. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's not easy for them, but that's one of the coolest things about what I get to do, is to see people react to what this organization is doing.
Yeah.
It's about them. It's not about us. It's not about my story. It's about the people that we're helping and what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And I think it's awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Can you walk me through, because I've been there and I think we talked about it on the last episode, but can you walk me through kind of like somebody's walking in your door the first time? What are they going to expect? Like, how does the donations work? How does buying stuff donating? Am I saying the right word? Yeah. Donating.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I thinking of a different word? My brain's not working today. But when somebody wants to purchase something,
okay,
it's not like a, yeah.
So you walk through and I will tell you what other people say. You can feel the love when you walk through that door. You walk in and you walk out a different person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that happened, but that's the way it is. So you walk in, you see all the military stuff first. So you know exactly who we are, what we do, and why we're doing it. This number I just told you is plastered right in front as soon as people walk in. So they know what we're doing. And so you get to go through and shop. We have, like you said, 9,000 square foot where people can go through, and most of it's by monetary donation. And what that means is you pick your own price.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some items we have priced, obviously, the bigger items and the more expensive items, I will say we do put a price on, but 90% of our stuff is by monetary donation. And so you just get to go shop through the store just like our veterans do. They don't pay anything for it, but regular customers do.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as our donation, people can bring their household items to us. We don't accept clothing, shoes, or mattress and box springs. Pretty much everything else though. So you bring it to our donation center and you ring the bell on the door, and our lovely volunteers will come out, unload your donations, and then we process all the donations. We clean them, we test them, and then they go out on the floor. And so it's hard work, but it's a pretty simple idea. You know, we have people donate items and then park and then go shop through the store, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Because they're bringing stuff in and taking stuff out.
Yeah.
And the money that you spend in the store, that's how we are helping veterans. That's the money we take to go do what we're doing. You know, all the funding that comes in with all the different events and fundraisers, that's what's helping keeping us open. That's paying our rent. That's paying our utilities, because it's about $7,000 a month to be in this building.
Wow.
And we probably have the cheapest rent that there is. For a 9,000 square foot building, you're going to pay about $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
And we're paying $3,000.
I was not expecting the number to be that high.
Yeah, it's crazy because we're looking for a bigger building, and I'm like, I don't know how we.
Yeah. But
I didn't know how we were going to afford the new building either. I just
made it happen.
I walked through the door.
Yeah.
You know, it was open, and I walked through it, and that's what we'll do with the next building. We'll just walk through it and try our best and see what happens. But it's a very easy process as far as the shopping and donating, and the volunteers that we have are unbelievable. We have people coming from Ashland, Mount Vernon, where is the other one? Galleon, but all over the place just to come and help us do what we're doing. It's the coolest thing in the world. We have kids coming in and doing the ice cream shop. We have an ice cream shop, which is by donation as well.
I think the last time I was there, it was almost open again.
Yes.
Because COVID had wrecked it a little bit.
Well, basically, COVID was 2020, and that's when we moved into our current location. So it was not easy for us. I don't know how we made it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's been a rough ride.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, we were worried about rent every single month. Friend had to give us a loan to pay rent one month. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
But again, these fundraisers are making it possible for me to sleep a little bit better at night, knowing that we still have money to take care of our business and help our veterans.
That's awesome.
So it's awesome.
Walk me through some of the stuff you have going on now as far as events. Yeah.
So, okay. This one is not something that we're putting on, but it's coming up August 8th. It's a Jeff Ellington. I got to read it. Sorry, I can't keep up with all
Totally fine.
Jeff Ellington Pay It Forward Golf Outing. That's August 8th at Deer Ridge in Belleville. They're still looking for sponsors, and I believe they're still looking for teams for that.
Okay.
We have a clay shoot coming up September 5th. And let me see here. It's at the Cardinal Shooting Center And it's $1,000 4-person team. We're still looking for sponsors for that as well. 9 a.m., 9:15 a.m. shotgun start. And then I can give you these if you want to post these.
Yep, I'd be more than happy to.
Send them to you. That way people can know exactly what they're getting into and all that stuff. And then we just had a pageant of all things, something that's not even in my wheelhouse for sure. But again, Shauna came to me and she's like, let's do a pageant to raise money. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And it was the Miss Freedom Ohio Queens. And these girls are taking it very serious.
What's the age group?
It was preteen to adult.
Okay.
Married, unmarried, everything in between. And there was no stipulations. It's just you enter and go.
Is that what they consider open?
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so it was, when I first got there, I'm like, I just don't know.
Never associate yourself with the pageant life?
No, not even close. And I'm like, what is this going to do for Love Our Heroes other than raise money, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know. But then, like I was telling you earlier, these girls are just, they support Love Our Heroes wholeheartedly. And they are doing everything that they can to not only spread awareness about who we are, but what we do. And I already got referrals from them. I already have fundraising ideas coming from them. One wants to do a food truck. Another one wants to do this. And it's just like, it's unbelievable. But we are allowing, when I say we, I mean the organization is paving the way for other people to walk in their purpose too. Mm. So it's not just about me and the organization. It's about what other people, we're going to be part of their story. No matter what happens to Love Our Heroes, we could be gone in 5 years, 2 years, but we will be part of every single one of their stories. They will say, we did this pageant for Love Our Heroes and they helped veterans.
100%. That's awesome.
You can't pay for something like that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so again, we go a little bit slower than in most organizations and most people, but we're trying to do it the right way. It's got to be organic for us. We're okay to be different. We're different with everything else.
Seems like it's working for you.
Yeah, it is.
And you're not after the fast grab, you know?
Well, if I'm being honest, I would like things to move faster because that's who I am as a person.
Right.
But I'm okay with the way things are happening because I see other people and I'm like, you sometimes get jealous. You're like, man, I wish I was where they were at. Mm-hmm. Or I wish, why didn't I think about that? Or why didn't we do it that way? Mm-hmm. We weren't supposed to. We weren't meant to. Until you look back and reflect, that's when you get to see, well, if we wouldn't have done it this way, this wouldn't have happened. Mm-hmm. If I wouldn't have turned around and listened to that voicemail, I would have never been able to talk to that veteran. And it was literally life-changing for both of us. Yeah. And so I'm okay doing things the way we do it.
You just get a little frustrated, feeling stagnant sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was just telling a friend yesterday, I love what I do, but I need to do something different, not different, but more. I need to do more. I need something else, because you don't want it to be mundane and to the point where you're like dragging yourself in there because it's a great thing what we're doing, but it's a business.
Yeah. And you're all humans running it.
Exactly. And the business part of it is not the easy part. The easy part and the fun part is going and having these conversations and connecting with these veterans and helping. But doing all the paperwork and the accounting and all, that's for somebody else. I hate that part of it, which I know it goes into it. But it can be repetitive, And so now I'm like, what can we add? What can we do we have this, but we can do this over here to complement it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I just want to change a little bit, whether it's a new building, whether it's a new, adding another way of fundraising or whatever the case may be. Like I said, somebody said something about a food truck and I'm like, that would be awesome. Yeah. We can raise all kinds of money doing that. I just don't want to. Cool. I mean, think about that. Mm-hmm. Lemonade, just lemonade. How much money you can make on lemonade at one festival?
Oh, I don't know. Considering I pay a bunch for it at the fair, probably a lot.
$8 a piece. Yeah. I mean, think about that. You have lemons.
Yeah.
That's your
lemons and sugar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, if we could pull that off, we could be in another stratosphere that could move us into the direction we're really trying to go.
Yeah.
Because eventually I want one to be in every town.
Yeah.
And then somebody just commented last week, like, why couldn't it be national?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Why can't it? You know, and it's not something that I'm actively looking towards, but I'm like, well, why not? We can do it here and we can do it there. Well, why not?
Yeah. Finding the balance between not spreading yourself too thin and actually having long-term goals. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Well, we're in 13 counties and that happened. I don't even know how that happened, to be honest with you, but we only have funding from 2 counties. So it's like, how do we get funding from all those different counties that we're serving? We're putting money into their county, but we're not getting anything back. You know, so that's kind of my goal, is to figure out how we get the funding from all the different places that we're serving. Yeah. Because then it shouldn't just be 1 or 2 counties funding everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not fair to the other, you know. It's
not fair to the counties that are, you know, supporting us and the other ones. Not that they're not supporting us. Maybe they don't know we're serving in their county. You know, we don't spend any money on advertising. So it's been word of mouth. And
you mean based off the people from those counties that you're helping?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Cause we're in Marion.
I think the last time we talked, didn't you have people driving across state to come donate, or not? Yes, from Florida. That's right.
There was a gentleman who said he'd been watching us and he drove clear from Florida to give us $100 donation. And it was like, that's unbelievable. You know, I was just stopped at a store yesterday, gentleman and his wife, and they said, you know, we don't agree with certain thrift stores and their policies. And my wife looks up all the financials of everything that we donate to, and we support you 100%. And I'm like, you don't expect that. It was a Dollar Tree. You know what I mean? I wasn't expecting to talk business. Yeah. But that's just what people are seeing and what people are noticing. And that's awesome.
Yeah. The support, especially where you're at in Belleville, I feel like it'll make you or break you, depending on if you have that town support. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you, we wouldn't be who we are and where we are without the community in Belleville. Yeah. These people have been unbelievable. And it's hard when you think about getting a bigger space and moving, because it's not set up for what we need anymore. We've outgrown it, you know, but I don't know where the next building is going to be, but I will tell you that our story will always include the community of Belleville, because absolutely, we wouldn't be who we are without them. Yeah. It's been unbelievable. It's not just the residents, it's the other organizations and the other businesses in town. It's like, you can make one phone call. For instance, I called, I'm like, we're getting ready to do a groundbreaking ceremony for this house we're building. And I went to Lowe's and I went to Home Depot and I went to all the big things, you know, support veterans. I just wanted to donate 6 shovels for this groundbreaking ceremony, right? And the crap that I had to go through, all the red tape.
To receive a donation from a big box store.
And I've never even heard back. Not one thing. I made one phone call to Smith Hardware. He said, well, you can just use them, bring them back. And I'm like, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's what we should be doing for each other.
100%.
Giving back to each other and putting our efforts into them, and then they will give it back. You know, I was told a long time ago, don't ask somebody for something that you need right off the bat. Ask them what you can do for them. So I have always been a big supporter of the Belleville community and, you know, the schools and the different businesses. And then when I call and I need something, there's no question, because they know I've been there for them as well. Yeah. We have to be like that.
Man, I wish every place was like that.
I know, but it's not.
No.
Just trying to get a raffle basket, you know, but it's the world we live in. Everybody is asking for something. Yeah. And you only have so much time. You have so much money. You can't do it for everybody. Yeah. So I understand, because a lot of people come to us too. And we're like, we're a nonprofit. You know what I mean? We can help where we can, but we can't do like a normal business. You know, this money's got to go for veterans. Yeah. And like the flags at the memorial in Belleville at the cemetery, we were asked to donate flags for that. Of course. Of course, that was our answer. Yeah. What an honor to even be asked. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so people, that's what they know us for. They know we're going to help in certain areas. Yeah. And other areas, we may not be the right people, but we try to help as much as we can.
Well, I mean, if you help with stuff that isn't directly aligned with your mission, eventually you're not going to exist anymore, because you won't have any more resources to help anybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We try really hard to limit what we do and to keep it. But people ask, do we help just veterans?
Mm-hmm.
No, we help first responders as well. I believe they serve just like, the military, but also community members. If there's a community member that has a house fire or something to that magnitude, like I just got a call. There was a veteran, unfortunately, who committed suicide. And that there was a lady, I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to give away who it is, but they were setting up a meal train for the family. And the wife said she could only do crock pot food because she didn't have a working stove.
Wow.
So that call came in on Sunday, and we have a stove that's just sitting in our kitchen in our cafe that used to be there. It's not anymore. And I'm like, we'll make sure that they get a stove.
Yeah.
And it's just things like that we have to be there for the families as well.
Yeah.
It's not just about the veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the family serves.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't even imagine what that wife and family's going through and having to worry to tell somebody that they can only do crock pot food because they don't have a stove. There's 7 people living in that house with no stove.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to me.
Just got to feel helpless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a stove is something small.
Yeah.
But it could mean the world to somebody who doesn't have one. It's just, again, meeting people where they're at, having the conversation. And maybe her family didn't even know the stove wasn't working.
Yeah.
You get in that, everything's coming down at you all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to tell people that you don't have it all together.
Right.
Again, there's a stigma with that. So it's like you suffer in silence because you don't think anybody else is going through it.
Yeah.
And there's a whole world of people out here willing to help, and we just got to talk to people.
Do you have an overabundance of appliances, or do you need more?
We need more.
Is that a big thing? Like a story like that? Yeah. Like it's huge. Like here's a stove. Here's something you can wash your clothes now or something like that. And that's so a lot of people are like, I don't know. I'll just put this refrigerator in a garage or something. I don't know what to do with it, but you could change somebody's life.
Absolutely.
That needs to refrigerate their food.
I mean, when you're putting your food in a cooler on the back porch, there's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Appliances are a big thing because they're expensive.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, it only takes one big emergency and you and I could be in the same position.
Yeah.
You could lose your job and be on the street in a week,
mm-hmm.
Or a month, whatever,
Yeah.
We could all be in that same position. Again, I had to go to a food bank before and it was embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to face anybody, let alone the world. But if we all did it together, if we were really all helping each other,
mm-hmm.
the world would be a whole completely different place.
Yeah.
Just listening to people. Hey, how are you doing today? And not just asking to have a conversation, but because you really, truly care how that person is doing today. You don't have to get into a whole big story about how their life is falling apart.
Right. You don't want to be their counselor, but you actually want to legitimately ask them how they're doing.
I see you.
Mm-hmm.
I see you. That's what people need.
Yeah.
That's what I needed. And I didn't realize I needed it when I was going through all the things I went through because I didn't say anything. I didn't realize somebody was going through not the same thing, but the same circumstance.
Yeah.
And until you start talking about it, you're like, oh, man, I wish I would have said that a long time ago. I wouldn't have felt so alone.
Yeah.
I maybe wouldn't have got to the place where I wanted to commit suicide because I would have realized that everybody's going through the same thing in that area of life, alcoholism and addiction. That's a hard thing.
Yeah.
And, you were talking about clubs, VFWs and that kind of thing. I do have to say that there's a lot of servicemen and women who are struggling with alcoholism and addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's not another outlet for them, if that's the only thing that there is, then aren't we missing the point?
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay to have those. I think it's okay to have those certain clubs and certain things
mm-hmm.
for the people who they serve, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be other things that we can have available for people just to have a conversation. Play euchre, do something that doesn't involve one of the vices that they're trying to.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. That's what, like we were talking to Jeff Parker about, like, do something that's like, hey, let's go work out together. Yeah. Not like, let's go get trash together.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there needs to be an actual brick and mortar because you could go to whatever. I won't name the one I'm thinking of, but there's places that'll take you out on hunts, and those are cool and do stuff, but it's kind of hard to go back to your family and be like, I got linked up with this veteran organization. They're going to pay for everything, but I'm going to be gone for a week. And, and then it's kind of like, oh, go do veteran stuff. But if you could just drive to a place where people are already there, maybe when you're not feeling the best and you don't want to pre-plan next year's hunting trip, because you're feeling bad now.
Right.
Let's go
today.
Be with your counterparts today,
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the other organizations and clubs for veterans are great.
Yeah.
Because they're meeting the needs of certain areas, right? But again, I agree with you that there needs to be a place where they can go today and not have to wait.
Yeah.
Or
not
have to
something off. Yeah, something to like take their mind off of something, not like, because I know people are thinking, well, there's veteran crisis centers. Like, well, what if people don't want to consider themselves being in a crisis? They just want to go talk to somebody, but not make it about them. Like, you know what I mean? Just like take a load off. But like you were saying, like you were embarrassed by even thinking that you had that problem. So you being like, hey, can you watch my dog or whatever? I got to go to a crisis center. You know what I mean? You weren't going to do that.
No, absolutely not. No, because I got this. I'm the strong one.
Yeah.
I should be strong enough to handle not only my own emotions, but everything around me.
Mm-hmm.
And we're human, we don't give ourselves enough credit, and we expect perfection. I expect perfection. In myself and other people, to be quite honest with you. And so that's a hard thing for me to let go of and be like, give myself grace.
Yeah.
And it's okay to not be okay sometimes. And there was another veteran, and I don't know if I should tell this story or not, but he was struggling, and the VA contacted me and they said he won't talk to us about mental health because it flags their folder. And I said, what does that mean? And she's like, it red tags them. So any doctor, anything that they go on from that point over or forward, they're depressed or they're suicidal. So that's the only thing that people see.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I don't understand as far as what you're saying, but I understand that from my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I didn't say anything. I didn't want people to think less of me or to not listen to this issue or what I have to say about this, because all they can think, oh, she's suicidal.
Yeah.
So I get it. So a lot of people don't want to talk about it
Mm-hmm.
for that reason right there. Maybe the medication. There's a medication list. And if you say you're dealing with this, maybe you won't get the medication you need because they think you're an addict now or that you could do A, B, or C. So it's just a broken system.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I agree with you.
We got to be okay with talking about it and talking about it when we're in it, not when we've come through it. We can do that and help other people behind us.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about it as we're going through it, think of the healing. We wouldn't take so long to heal and to figure out what we're supposed to do,
And then all the people around you that aren't talking about it will speak up.
Yeah. When people say, just be nice to people, smile, give a compliment, you don't know what that's going to do. You don't know what other people are going through.
Mm-hmm.
They could be having the worst day of their life.
Yeah.
And it just takes one thing, good or bad, and they could be sent over the edge.
Yeah.
We just need to be kind to each other.
Yeah.
Look at each other as human beings and not what we can get out of that person. I feel like the society is all about.
It's transactional.
It is.
Yeah.
It is transactional. Unfortunately, we've lost what I think it's supposed to be. Human race is what this world was intended to be.
Yeah.
It's all messed up.
I know.
So just to have a little glimmer of hope, I don't even watch the news anymore. I can't watch the news. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about what's going on here or over there. I have created my own little world.
Your own bubble.
And it has worked for me. And I can't look at all that because I was mad. I was so angry every time I watched the news, and I'm like, it's affecting me as a person. It's affecting me and how I look at other people. And I couldn't do that anymore. So I just try to look at everybody as an individual and try not to judge and be there.
It's so much better that way. I took this year off. That was my New Year's resolution to quit.
Yeah.
And it's so much better.
It changes you.
Yeah.
It really does. You look at and people's opinions. Like there's opinions flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to pick up the shovel, is the analogy that I use.
Yeah.
You know, you're wanting God to do all these things for you, right? He's not a genie. And sometimes we have to pick up the shovel and work towards the goal that we have as well, you know, and nobody's willing. A lot of people aren't willing to do that.
Right.
They just want to be fulfilled and their needs be filled and not worry about anybody else.
Yeah.
And they're not willing to work for it. And that's a hard part too.
Yeah.
When there's, you know, when you create the problem for yourself, but you want other people to fix it. That's a hard.
I know I think in like memes, and it's not, you know, the most profound thing to say, but I always think of the drawing of the guy who shoves a stick in his bicycle wheel and then blames somebody else.
Yep, absolutely.
That's how most people are.
It is. It's somebody else.
And it's okay. I was going to say earlier, it's okay. I'm learning as I'm getting older that it's okay not to have an opinion on something and just say, I don't have an opinion on it.
Yep. It's harder to bite your tongue. And I think there's growth that happens when you do that. I have a lot of opinions about a lot of things, but I can't tell you one person that knows all of them.
Right.
Me, you know,
right.
And you can have an opinion and still love somebody. You can have an opinion and still respect somebody. May not be the same opinion or the same choices that you would make, but you can respect them as a person.
Yeah.
And until we come to that, it's just going to be crap out there.
Yeah.
Nobody, you know, there's so many things that divide us. And the one thing that we can come together on is humanity and helping our veterans.
Yeah.
If we can't come together on that, I don't know what world we're living in.
Right.
I mean, I just don't understand. When someone gets upset at an organization or an entity for what they do, you just feel so sad for those people. Like, what kind of life did they have that they're that angry?
Yeah. Unless your organization's about clubbing baby seals, I don't. Then, you know.
It's just, I don't know. People just suck sometimes. It's hard to do anything in this world because I guess if people are talking about you, good or bad, you're doing something right. You know? And I don't know. It's a hard job to do. I never understood what my assignment was until I've been in it for as long as I have. And I didn't know the impact it would make on me. You know, people talk about how many veterans we've helped, and we have helped a lot, but the people that it's helped inside that building and outside that building, whether they're a veteran or not, it completely changed my life. Like, completely changed my life.
Plenty of people, you don't even know how much it impacts, you know, whether it's that person just needing food one time and then, you know, scoring an awesome job because they had a leg up and now their family's going to be set up for the rest of their life. You know what I mean? Right. There's so many people.
Yeah.
You probably can't even wrap your head around it because you'll never know.
No, it's crazy. We have a sign-in sheet and you come in the lobby and I read those every single day. People sign their name and sometimes give their email or phone number or whatever. But then there's a comment section and I get to see all the states that people have come from, whether they're just visiting family or a funeral or whatever the case may be. They're in the store.
Yeah.
And the comments that it's just so, it helps my soul to know that we're making a difference in so many people, not just the veterans we've helped, but the people who come through our organization or, hey, you helped my cousin, or, hey, I know somebody that you help, or whatever the case may be. It's like, you're right. We have no idea the impact that we have had as an organization. And that's just really, really cool.
Do you have any resources to catch these people before they need you? If that makes sense. It's probably not a great way. Like, somebody getting out of the military that is probably going to need assistance later, or I guess, is it just letting more people know that you exist for that person to know they can come there? Was that the way? Basically,
yeah. I wish there was a way to help. So what we've talked about is having, and I didn't know if you guys had this or not when you got out, a booklet of all the resources, like you were saying. Let them go ahead and sign up for whatever they deserve. You know, if you're hurt in the military, you should be paid for that.
Yeah.
And there should be a book of everything that you qualify for or what you can do, and have somebody there helping you through that transition. And if there was that, I think it would be a lot easier, and we would probably see a lower number come through our building.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like that, right?
I can't say there's not pamphlets because I remember having a folder full of pamphlets, but most of it's like, here's the VA's number kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then at your local VA, there might be more resources like that. But I just mean the people that are kind of wandering through thinking they don't need any of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But exposure is probably the best thing, knowing that you're right down the road or wherever you end up.
You know, I have a lot of people who, especially if they're referred by a family member, they're too humble.
Yeah.
They don't want the help.
Yeah.
They just, their pride gets in the way and they're like, you know, they don't need it. And then it gets to the point where they finally have to call back and be like, okay, I need it now. And I wish we didn't exist.
Yeah.
I wish we were an organization for somebody else because our military was taken care of and not have to worry about anything. But that's not the reality of it.
No.
You know, and I think there needs to be more organizations like ours helping in different places in different ways. And I can't talk bad about any organization that I've come across because in their own way, they are helping.
Yeah.
And we can't do it alone. We have to do it together. That may not be my wheelhouse or what I'm supposed to do, but I'm thankful for there is, because maybe there's a veteran that needs that particular circumstance to happen to help them. So I can't discount anybody for doing what I feel like, you know, they're being called to do, but we need to work together. It shouldn't be, my organization's better than yours. It should be say, hey, I got a number for this place. Why don't you call them too?
Yeah.
You know, and if we're all doing it together, then eventually we're not going to need to exist.
Yeah.
Because we're already helping everybody. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's just, I don't know. It's a broken system.
Yeah.
All around. And everybody, I can't say everybody, there's a lot of people who want their organization or business to be the business or organization, and they're not willing to partner with anybody else. And that's okay.
Well, there's a reason that the VA doesn't just handle everything, and other, like said business you're talking about. If the organization, the VA, did everything that they could do, then those organizations wouldn't need to exist.
100%. So there's obviously a need, right? And so we have to be willing to do whatever we can. And as far as, I know I'm kind of switching gears a little bit, but when I say meet people where they're at, that's what I'm trying to do. So for a bigger building, we want to have not only household items, but we want to have clothing and we want to have food. A food pantry, because there's so many people coming from so many counties that I can't keep up with. Okay, Marion County's doing this and Cuyahoga County's doing this on this date and this time at this church or this venue or whatever. It's too much. So I'm like, we need to do it to where when a veteran comes in for help, the immediate needs are taken care of at our organization. Yeah. And then we can refer out for whatever else that they need. But if we can start with that, man, that's what everybody should be wanting to do more. Right. You shouldn't feel settled, I guess. And that's what I was talking about earlier. I feel like, okay, we've done this. Now how can we do more? How can we help more? What else can we do to raise money we got to have money to help people. Right. Yeah. And so fundraising is a big thing, and figuring out how do we add, I was talking to you about doing, getting the stories documented on these veterans and hearing their stories. And that's going to cost money, but that's not we're not going to make any money by doing that. But I feel we're supposed to do it, you know? Yeah. It's not always about money. It's about what the next step is. How can we help more? How can we go deeper into the lives of these veterans and have them be part of our family? I want to be able to call all these people friends and them say, you know what, if you need something, this is where you go. And even if you don't, this is who you can go talk to. This is the outlet I took, you know, because again, we don't do advertising. So the veterans we help and then people come through our door are the people who are talking. Yeah. And so we need to make sure that they're saying the things that align with what we're trying to do. Yeah. And so again, no judgment, I'm not worried about your baby mama drama, all the things. I don't want to hear it. I just want to know what you need and see if we can help. Period.
100%.
So it's a hard thing.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And it's not easy, but it's simple.
Yes. That's crazy to say it that way, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely not easy, but it is very simple.
People are hungry and they need somewhere to live. Yeah.
There's I believe it's People Helping People that serve meals every single day in Mansfield.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're on, I can't remember what road they're on now. I can't remember. But it started for veterans. Mm. And there were so many homeless veterans that's what kicked it up. Mm. And still to this day, veterans get served before everybody else. Mm. And it's just like, there's a need there.
Yeah.
There is a need that we need to meet. It's the housing, it's food insecurities. It's, again, one emergency away and we could be in the same position. Mm-hmm. We could be living on the streets trying to figure out what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But, I've been through a lot in my life. I've been very poor and I've had money. Mm-hmm. And when I was in the poorest situation, I think God allowed me to go through those things to understand what people are going through. It prepared me for what I'm doing. I know the different places I can send people because I've been there.
Yeah. Like you were saying, well, I'm not a veteran, but also when those people are hungry, they don't care about somebody who is a veteran. They care about somebody who didn't know where their next meal was going to come from. That's the humanity and the empathy that you can give them,
Absolutely.
And that's important because they don't need some, big CEO type guy that, oh, I'm glad you're in the military, but do you know what it's like to be hungry and sleeping wherever? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we've all seen people sitting on the side of the road with a sign, cardboard sign, I'm a veteran. Mm-hmm. Wow. I just can't even imagine. Mm-hmm. Can't even imagine doing all of the things that they've done and then it ending up that way.
Do you think the biggest cause of that's addiction?
I think a lot of it is mental health. That goes along with it. Addiction, yes. Yeah. And I mean, you would be able to speak to this more because of your position, but I mean, a lot of these men and women go away and they come back to nothing. Their families leave, and the spouses leave, they get divorced, they have no purpose. Think about that. You're spiraling out of control and you don't know what to do next. And if you don't have that help and that guidance and that camaraderie, that brotherhood outside to help you navigate all that, then you're going to end up in that position. And then what?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a lot of it's mental health.
Or for the generation before me, the guaranteed job to go back to the mill or whatever doesn't exist anymore. Mm.
Yeah.
I feel like that's played a huge impact on people.
Maybe there's a J-Dog. We had partnered with them and they veteran owned and operated. And I love their business model because not only are they helping people get rid of their stuff, but they're showing what and who they are. Mm-hmm. And they're standing for it. They're honorable and they're just great, great guys.
Yeah.
And not everybody has the means to start a business or to do a franchise or do whatever they're doing. Mm-hmm. But I just love seeing veterans helping veterans.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that the way it's supposed to be? I mean, I don't know how it is in the military because I wasn't there, but you guys are there for each other, and gosh, we just need to be there after that. You see these videos of, guy you used to serve with 20 years ago and you finally see him again. And just,
oh my gosh,
it's like you didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
What if there was that connection? There's so much social media. How are we not staying connected to each other? You know, that's what I don't.
I mean, we are, but it's just not at scale like we should be,
You think do you think it needs to be more, the face to face, like we were talking?
Definitely more, I think more beneficial. But if somebody has absolutely nobody, then going on social media is the first step. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you can find other people like you and meet them in person and have somebody to talk to,
It's just so sad to me that somebody is sitting there right now and they need somebody to talk to and they don't know who that person is. Mm-hmm. So how do we combat that? How do we reach those people that we don't even know that needs reached?
Right.
That's
tough.
We're missing a lot of people that we could be not only helping them, but helping ourselves.
Yeah.
And we don't know that it even exists. We need to talk about it. We need to be honest about where we're at and how we're feeling, because that's where people feel the stigma again is, I don't want people to know what I'm going through. I don't want people to know that it's hard for me. I had some lady come up to me and she said, you just have it together. Everything, all these things, all these wonderful things. And I'm like, God,
if you only knew.
If you could be inside my head just for 30 seconds, you'd be like, how does this woman even get up in this every day? We look like we have it together, but we don't, because that's our perception,
Yeah.
I have to be Tami, owner of Lover Heroes. I have to be Tami, the mom, Tami, the wife, but I'm Tami.
Yeah.
A lot of us, my issue was with my ex is that I didn't love me. I lost me. I was the wife of an addict. I was the wife of an alcoholic. And that's what my world revolved around. So when that ended, I was spiraling. I had no idea who I was. People would ask, well, what do you like to do? I love to go watch my daughter play soccer games. No, but what do you like to do? And I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And I think if we were able to talk as we're going through it, it would change everything. Yeah. I may not have been in that position, sitting on the floor, counting the hours till I took all those pills, and I had, honestly, my oldest daughter asked me, she said, why did you ask God for a purpose when you have kids? Aren't your kids your purpose?
That's tough to hear as a parent.
And it's like, I love you with all my heart, but just because you love your kids and you have kids doesn't mean that
you can do both.
Exactly. And that was very hard to hear. And I have had to sacrifice a lot doing what I'm doing. Time with my family.
Yeah.
Time at family functions, time to myself, time, all these things. But even hearing that, and as hard as that is and was, I know what I'm supposed to do. I know that I am on the right path and I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. So God's purpose for your life will happen regardless, right?
Yeah.
And so we might fight it and we might change the direction a little bit, but we will always get back to where we're supposed to be despite what we do.
Amen.
So we can be a mom and we can still love our kids and still deal with mental health and think about suicide all on the same day.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about leaving my kids. I was thinking I wanted the pain to stop.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do this anymore. And
there's a lot of people that can relate to that.
It's not the easiest thing for sure. I'm thankful that I went through it because now I can understand, where somebody's at and what they've been through, and I can empathize with that and maybe give them some of the things that I did that can help them or them for me. Yeah. Hey, I did this. Well, I didn't think about that. That's a great idea. Again, we need to be talking about it. And if I was talking about it before I felt that, it wouldn't have got that far. Maybe it wouldn't have got that far. Maybe it would have. I have no idea. But
right.
Nobody in my family even knew. Nobody knew. I hid everything that he did because I didn't want people to look badly at him too.
Yeah.
So it was the protection of his reputation and my reputation. And we got this perfect family. We're all the things. And I was dying inside the whole time.
Yeah.
And so thankfully that didn't happen and I came out of it. But there's a lot of scars there because of what I did and how I did it.
Yeah.
I can't fix what my daughter said.
Right.
I can't change her perspective. Again, perspective is different for both of us. We're sitting in the same room, but we can look at things differently. And so I respect her perception and what happened. And I am very sorry that she feels that way. But I wasn't myself. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking about all the repercussions. I just wanted the pain to end.
Yeah.
That's all. So it's not easy.
Well, I'm glad you're here with us.
Thank you. Me too.
And that's like you said, that's the story that people get it, you know, especially the people that want to get it to end, and you let them know there's still hope,
Yeah, it's sometimes I think it's mundane when people say, oh, things are going to get better. It's going to be better tomorrow. But when you're in that, you don't feel like tomorrow's going to be any better, because what you've
it just seems like you just hear it as Hallmark sayings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not personal. And so I think we are allowed to go through certain things to help the people behind us, right? Otherwise, what is this life for?
Right.
So maybe some of the things that I did wrong, I can tell someone, hey, I wish I would have done it this way.
Yeah.
Or we can speak up when we hear something, or speak up when we feel something. And that's what I'm trying to combat right now. And it's still hard for me.
Yeah.
It's still hard for me to tell a story. It's still hard for me to think back. I still get triggered when I smell alcohol, for instance. I'm not against drinking. I'm just what that did to me.
Yeah. Your lived experience.
Exactly. Yeah. And so there's just certain things, certain smells, and it's like, I just get triggered all over again. And I'm like, what is happening? I was with my new husband and we were at a wedding. He's a DJ on the side. And there was a guy, the groom, who was so drunk. Right. And it was funny at first. It was like, he was acting ridiculous. Then all of a sudden he fell into the table, and whatever happened, I froze. I was not the same for almost 2 weeks. It was like, I was moving forward and I was doing things, but it was like an outer body experience.
Yeah.
I was just in, what
like
is it?
Autopilot.
Autopilot. Yeah. And I didn't realize that something like that could have triggered me, but it did. And so we need to know our boundaries. We need to know what helps us and what doesn't help us,
Recognizing those are so important.
It is.
In the mental health sphere.
It is. And it may not be that for this person, but it may be that one for this one.
And up until then, you didn't know that would do anything to you. So
I had no idea.
There's a lot of blind spots when it comes to that.
And I thought I left and I'm done.
Yeah. See, that's the thing with like PTSD, for example. Most guys think, thank God I didn't. It's day 2. They're out of the military. Thank God I don't have PTSD, 3 years later, and all these things that at first they didn't relate the military experience to what's going on. And then later, in hindsight, that's, because that sounds like what your experience, like that's, that technically is. So
is that talked about in the military as far as maybe signs to look for? Because maybe that's something
it is.
Change. Okay.
It is. I mean, and I haven't been in over a decade now, so it's hard for me to like say what is and isn't being done there. But I know when I was in, it became more almost like a checkbox, like show them the slideshows about mental health before they get out. You know what I mean? Okay. That kind of thing. So I couldn't tell you. I'll have to talk to somebody fresh.
Just getting out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it just drives me crazy when like you said, checking boxes. It just, I'm tired of being a number. I want to be a person. And again, I think everybody feels that way. I just want to be seen and heard.
Yeah.
And if we're sitting here telling our story and how we feel and it's not being reciprocated or it's just being dismissed, then no wonder we feel the way that we feel, as far as like, well, nobody's listening anyway. Nobody cares.
Yeah. They're
too worried about whatever they're doing, okay, it's just a job. Let's hurry up and get this done and go home and do what we really want to do. It should change.
Yeah.
I don't know how to change it, but
people like you.
Well,
I think so.
I appreciate that. I think it takes all of us working together. All of us need to be moving in the same direction, and just help your neighbor. You see somebody, an older neighbor mowing their grass. They're 90 years old. Go mow their grass.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just let people know that you really care about them personally. And man, we can change so many things.
I always think too, even if the people go mow the grass because they want other people to know they did something good. So it's not out of place of love. At least the grass got mowed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan.
No, I'm not a fan either. But when people do things, it's like we both agree you shouldn't take pictures of people who need help.
Right.
But at the very end of the day, the dude got food.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
So
I have people asking all the time, you know, don't you want people to know the type of help that you're giving?
mm-hmm.
And I said, we do. We just don't do it the way you think that we do.
Right.
And again, I think other places are doing that, and that's their choice to do that. But I don't want somebody to come to me or not come to me because they're embarrassed or they're worried about plaster in their face all over, and they would go without food, or their kids would go without food, or instead of asking for help with their rent, they end up homeless the following month because of that. You know, it shouldn't be like that. I want them to know that what they come to us and say is private, and we're not gonna tell their story everywhere. You know,
I'm glad you decided to do that.
It's important. Again, I was in that position, and I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me.
Right.
But I also am very hard-headed and don't listen. So I told you I didn't tell my story for a long time, and I'm glad that my board members kept on me and were like, listen, you really need to do this.
Yeah.
And so some things we need to be able to change, but the core values of what we really truly believe and why we do our why is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you miss the why, you're missing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Be who you are. Stay firm in who you are. Don't worry about everybody else beside you, in front of you, or behind you.
Yeah.
Learn from the people in front of you. Mentor the ones behind you, and walk with the ones beside you. That's the only way that we can change this world for real.
Yeah. And it sounds like you keeping an open mind about different things is also helping you quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like the pageant thing and just having an open mind.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to, listen, this has changed so many more ways than I could imagine. I thought I was donating money to the American Legion when I started, and here we are having a yearly pageant. It's just like, it's mind blowing. It's really cool.
Glad to hear it. Is there anything else you want to, we got the events covered.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to talk about? Shout out.
Yeah, let me just give you my hours. It's Wednesday through Saturday, 9 to 5. We are located at 24 Bell Street in Belleville. Our phone number is 567-772-0001. So if you need referrals or need to send a referral, or you just have a question about certain items that you want to donate. And I do need to say, with donations, please, if you don't want them in your home because they are broken or ripped or stained, please don't expect us to take those items, because
no one's taking them home.
We're not. And just because someone is in need doesn't mean they deserve the very worst of what we have.
Mm-hmm.
If a veteran is in need, we want them to have just as the best of the best, just like we want, right? Yeah. So if you have a couch that's sitting in your basement, it's been there for 30 years, and your dog chewed on this side and it's sun damaged on this side, I'm not going to give a veteran that couch.
Yeah.
So just be mindful of the items that you're bringing. We appreciate all of our donors. Don't get me wrong. But just be mindful that we're not other organizations. We're not other thrift stores. It's more than a thrift store. We have a purpose to what we're doing, you know, and we want the people who come through our door that need help to have just as nice things as it's in your house. You
don't want to be treated as a trash dump.
Exactly. They deserve better.
Yeah.
They deserve more, in my opinion. If I could give them brand new stuff, I would.
Yeah.
If we had that connection, which is not out of the realm of possibilities.
I was going to say, it's absolutely not.
So we can work towards that. But until then, we don't want them to have the crap. So just continue to bring us the wonderful things that you're bringing. And we really appreciate everybody's support. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thanks.
Great conversation.
Yeah, of course.
All right. See you, everybody.